All right, so here are some cheat codes I know now at 39 years old. Oh God, going on 40. But I wish I would have known at 19. So man, that's 20 years. That'll make me feel old. It's surprising how long some of these took me to figure out, but hopefully they bring you a little bit of value. Number one, never assume the answer is no. A couple years ago, I was raising capital for a deal. Investor, he shoots me an email and he says, put me down for $250,000. And I was like, cool, we'll follow up with the paperwork and we'll get you the wiring instructions. And then he proceeded to ghost me for the next 2 months. Didn't respond to a single email, text, or phone call. And I tried 7 times. That's 7 phone calls, 7 emails, 7 text messages. Okay, not 7. That's not 21. I mean, so 7 total. Okay, and he didn't respond to any of them. And now a lot of people will just assume that is his way of ghosting and saying no, but I didn't. I did mentally write him off and was like, he's probably not going to follow through with this, but I'm going to keep following up until I get him to tell me the answer is no, because he already told me the answer is yes. So I'm just going to keep following up because that's what he told me to do. So I mentally wrote him off, but I fired off an 8th email, and voila! On that 8th email, 2.5 months later or so, $250,000 and the signed documents landed in our account. The moral of the story is there's magic in the follow-up, and that the answer is only no if they tell you no or if you stop following up. If you keep following up, there's always a chance it's a yes. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to annoy them. What's the worst that happens? They say no. If you didn't follow up, the answer was no anyway. So follow up. Never assume the answer is no. Make them tell you no. Now, take no as an answer. Don't be a dick about it. But if they told you yes, or if you're still waiting to get them just to tell you very clearly yes or no, keep following up. Number 2, if you don't ask, the answer is no. And it's astonishing just how many doors in life will open for you if you simply ask. That's it. Like, it's the barrier to entry here is just so low. It's just so many people never even think to ask because they think they don't want to be weird, they don't want to make it uncomfortable, they don't want to overstep their bounds and all these things. Truth is, you don't know until you ask. So, but if you don't ask, the answer is 100% no. Number 3, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. This is from Derek Stevers. Life is too short. Don't waste it pursuing opportunities that you're not all in on. So only do the things that you're psyched as hell to pursue. Number 4, is saying yes to one thing is a way of saying no to another. You can't do everything. I know it's a bummer, but you're gonna have to learn to prioritize and then focus on the things that truly mean the most to you. Exclude everything else because all of those other things are taking you away from the thing that you want most. So guard your yeses, but be very, very free with your no's. All right, number 5, there is zero benefit to being overestimated. And there is nothing but upside to being underestimated. Think about that. If everybody thinks that you are the best thing since sliced bread, you can only disappoint them. But if they think you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, they will underestimate you in the negotiations. They will take you for granted, and that will leave you nothing but upside to prove them wrong. That's a beautiful place. The corollary of this is that there's zero upside in underestimating your competition. Don't be a dick. Don't think that you are better than your competition, that they are idiots and that they're lazy and that they're slow. They don't have all the things that you have. Assume that they know more and that they're better than you, and that therefore you need to work harder and smarter to catch up to them. There is no upside to underestimating your competition. They will come and take your lunch every day of the week. Number 6, people who mistake simple with easy tend to give up the moment things get hard, despite the fact that they are doing everything right. So much of success in life is simply calibrating your expectations accurately. If you go into something that is simple and you expect it to be easy and then it starts to get hard, well, then you're going to give up. But if you go into it and you're like, this is simple, but I know it's not easy, it's going to be hard, it's going to take me longer, and it's going to take more work and energy than I think it is to get to my goal, then you're going to be able to show up and do the work that needs to get done on a long enough time frame that will assure you success. Most people won't do that because they set their expectations too low and they think it's going to be easier than it ultimately is. And as soon as it gets hard, they stop. But that, for you, my friend, is where you need to keep going. Go hard in the paint. The moment it starts getting hard, you go harder, okay? Because that's where people are quitting. That's where the opportunity lies. Number 7, speed of response is one of the quickest ways to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. I know, that's a funny pun. Speed of response is one of the quickest ways to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. This isn't always the case, especially as you start getting more, like a higher level and people are putting more of a premium on your time. But when you're starting off and you don't have enough, you don't have experience, you don't have capital, you don't have anything, you don't have a reputation yet, all you have is the speed of response. And this is a very simple way to make yourself stand out, is make sure that you respond to all your phone calls, your texts, and your emails, your DMs, your comments, respond to them as quickly as possible. That will help differentiate you, make you stand out in a sea of people who are putting out their out of office emails and like, oh, I'll get to this next week. No, bullshit. Respond to them in the first 20 minutes, 5 minutes of getting the message from them, and they will notice. It says, I value your time. It is so important to me that I'm prioritizing it and getting back to you quickly. People will notice and they will respect that. Number 8, the world is run by idiots. There is no reason you can't be one of them. The only person standing in your way is you. So get out of your way. Get on with it. Number 9, pessimists get to be right. Optimists get to change the world. I believe you need to ruthlessly eliminate pessimists from your life because they are a parasite. Feeding on your ambition, your drive, and your initiative, they will simply pull you down to their level, and that is not a life that you want for yourself. So cut them out entirely. Yes, pessimists get to be right 99% of the time, but they are wrong the one time it matters, and that is the only time it matters, my friend. So keep doing you. Number 10. This is one of my favorite sayings of all time, is that $1 million idea is worthless without $1 million of execution. I don't care how good your idea is, if at the end of the day you don't do the work, you don't execute correctly, you don't execute to the level that's required, that idea is not going to make you any money. Execution is the game. Stop worrying so much, stop thinking so much, stop planning so much, and get out there and do the thing, execute the thing. You need far less to execute than I think people typically think. They think they need to have everything right, all the ducks lined up, everything perfectly in a row, and it's just not the case. Imperfect action is better than perfect plan that you never implement. So those are 10 things that I wish I knew when I was 19 that I now know, now that I'm officially an old man. So take that and run with it. I appreciate you guys being here. We'll catch you in the next episode.